All right, Jill. Okay, welcome everyone who just joined us. We are experiencing technical difficulty. And here we go. There was a circuit breaker. Do we have volume? We do not have volume. There we go. We're about to get started, but we need volume, Jill.
1, 2, go.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. We are experiencing a little bit of technical difficulty, but we appreciate you being patient with us. I am so excited tonight to have in the kitchen with me this amazing young Haitian chef, Chef Sebastien Salomon. He's going to wow you today as he has housed wowed so many people while he was a head chef at the White House, whether he's cooking for dignitaries at the Embassy of Haiti or cooking for celebrities like TD Jakes. He's an acclaimed chef, a self-published author, and his ultimate dream is to be the first, Haitian with 3 Michelin stars. And we know he's going to get there. And I'm so excited to have him here. And I'm not going to take any more time. I know what you all are here for. You're here to watch him cook. He's going to tell us a little bit more about himself, as well as what he's going to make for us tonight. So, Chef, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for hosting me.
You're welcome.
As you stated, my name is Sebastien Salomon. I am a chef here in the DC area. I've been here for about 4 years. It's been a blessing. Came here within a year of coming here. I met my amazing wife who's here. She's shy, so she probably won't come on. But yeah, met her and been just doing some amazing things. Just the goal is we have an amazing country, a beautiful country, is really to elevate our cuisine to be in the same place as French cuisine, Italian cuisine, and for us to be the best of the best that we are. So, and for today, we're making something a little different. We're making a snapper wrapped. It's a technique called paupiette. It's a French technique, usually done with potato, but being Haitian, we're gonna do it with plantains, and we're gonna stuff the snapper with a conch mousse, conch lumbi. So we're just gonna show you different techniques to make the same things that we eat all the time, but just a different way for it to come out a little bit more beautiful. And we're gonna make it with a plantain butter and with some vegetables. So we're gonna get started.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna make our plantain butter. So when you're cooking, you wanna always try to start with the things that takes the longest time, and then try to work your way with the things that takes the less time. So
okay.
We're gonna grab our pot. So we're gonna set our pot right here. I'm gonna turn off my stove just to get it ready.
All right.
And so what we're doing is we just, if you're Haitian, I'm sure you know how to cut a plantain.
Yeah.
And I love plantain because growing up, my mom is from Arcaye, so I ate a lot of plantains growing up, and I typically ate them the same way. Typically ate them boiled, fried, or like sometimes they put it on the fire.
Okay.
So I just want to take this simple ingredient that I grew up with and make it as many ways as possible. Stretch it.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, Chef, let me ask you, Haitians, of course, we love banana and we eat it all kinds of ways and different types. We generally like it green. Mm-hmm. I see that you're using a sweet plantain. Is that for the mousse? Is that for the butter, or does it matter?
So, so when you're thinking about a dish, you want it to, and it's kind of funny because Haitians have done this. Haitians have done this for a long time to balance a dish.
Okay.
To really understand the balance of a dish, to understand that you need some sweetness, you need some bitterness, you need some tartness. So this is just to add a sweet component to the dish.
Okay.
So I know it's a very rare to see a lot of Haitians eat sweet plantains.
Okay.
But we're gonna make this a way that I'm sure everybody's gonna love.
Okay. All right.
So with that, and what I usually like to do, because when I make the butter, I want it to be really, really nice. I
Okay.
remove the seeds.
Oh.
So all you do is, because if you leave the seeds in there,
Okay.
it's gonna make it. The seeds are gonna be all over the butter, so
Okay.
it's not gonna look pretty. So you want it to look really, really pretty.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna get rid of the seeds.
So you use any spoon for that? Just dig it in.
Just dig it out.
Okay.
And then you could save the seeds, and if I wanted to make another dish, I could make chips with this, but I'm just not gonna use it. So we're just gonna try to take as much of the seed out as possible.
Okay.
And then when you make this, you don't need a lot of plantains.
Okay.
You'll see why. It will make the butter is just, when it comes out, you just see the consistency, and when you taste it, you just see that you won't need that much too much plantains. But if you love plantains, it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
So just bear with me as I take out the seeds.
Seeds. Okay. Well, while you're taking out the seeds, we'd like to know a little bit more about you. I want our viewers to know a little bit about you, where you drew your inspiration, what inspired you to become a chef. You know,
Sure.
in our culture, traditionally, the boys went out in the kitchen. So.
Yeah. So when I was growing up, my grandmother, she was she loved how to cook. She was amazing, and she didn't know how to read or write, and
Oh wow.
she worked with a lot of dignitaries, and they showed her some of the techniques. And it's just recently I found out, because I did not understand how she was able to master recipes, remember stuff without being able to read or write. And recently somebody told me that there's something called vibrational cooking, where people use their memory
Okay.
kind of like a sponge to absorb all the recipes.
Okay.
So that's what she was doing all those years. So she wanted to make sure, she was like, I don't want you to find a woman just because of food. I don't want you marry somebody because of food. So she made sure that I learned that skill at a very young age.
I see. Okay. So where did you obtain your training? I know you have like a lot of skills. Where did you receive your?
It's actually funny. After she passed away, I did not want to pursue the culinary career.
Okay.
My mom was working at the UN, and she took me to the UN, and because she was working there, and when they took me to a helicopter. She had a couple of Marines, and they took me to the helicopter, and I fell in an airplane, and I fell in love, and I wanted to be a pilot ever since then.
Oh wow.
And so my grandma passed away, kind of wanted nothing to do with it. And when I came to the States, one of my friends was working at a restaurant, and he was like, "Hey man, you want to come get a job?" I was like, "Sure, I'm not doing anything." And went to get the job, started the day I started working. He got into a fight with somebody else, and they both got fired. I started as a dishwasher.
Wow.
The manager was like, "Hey, I don't have any openings right now. The only thing I have available is a dishwasher." And I was like, I'll take it. I don't care. And literally the same night I started, my friend got in a fight with one of the cooks on the line. He got fired, and they were like, the next man up. And that's how it all started.
Look at God.
Yeah, that's how it all started. And then I went to culinary school, and then, the journey started.
Okay, great.
Okay, so now that we got our seeds out.
Yay.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take some heavy cream.
Okay.
We're just gonna put some heavy cream on there.
Again, this is for the plantain butter.
Yeah, plantain butter.
Heavy cream. Okay.
So it's gonna cook. It's not gonna take a long time to cook.
Okay.
Because the thing about the sweet plantain, it's already kind of soft.
Okay.
So you just want this to break it down.
Okay.
Just want to cover it for a little bit, and then Next, we're gonna move on to our conch mousse. So,
Ooh.
growing up in Haiti, I remember coming from school. They usually have the lumbee carts outside, the grill lumbee, and they usually put it on a little plastic cup.
Yes.
When you go to parties.
When you go to the beach.
When you go to the beach.
Yes.
So I really wanted to take it to use it, in a different way, but to really highlight the lumbee.
Okay.
So, and then, if you guys don't know, lumbee is like it's a snail. It's like it's like an escargot of the ocean. So it's come out of a shell.
Okay.
So, and it's an aphrodisiac. So if the guys know what I'm talking about. Yeah. So to make the mousse, we're just gonna, the mousse is, again, it's another French technique. I'm using a lot of French technique because our cuisine draws a lot of inspiration from France.
Okay.
But I want to highlight the things that we do.
Okay.
So you just want to cut up your conch, and it's very tough when you do this. It's gonna help it cook really, really fast.
Okay.
Otherwise, you have to, it takes a long time to cook.
Long time to cook one.
So you just want to cut it into little pieces, really fine pieces, as small as you could get it.
Okay. And what does that do? That helps to
So if it's too big, you put it in the food processor. This food processor is not too big. If the food processor was a little bit bigger, you could probably put bigger pieces.
Okay.
But you just want to make it so that it's able to break it down.
Okay.
So you just want to cut them to, as small as you can. I'm not going to cut all of them because I already have some made.
Okay.
So
showing the technique.
So yeah, just showing you guys how to make it at home if you would like to make this. And it's super easy, and you could make it and put it in a pan and then put it on a toast. There's so many things that you could do with it.
Okay.
So you're gonna take your lumbee, which is your conch meat.
Yes.
You're gonna put it in your food processor. And then you're going to pulse it.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
So it's gonna turn it into it's gonna mash it up.
Okay.
So as it's mashing it up, it's really breaking down the protein, what makes it really tough.
Okay.
So, and then this is the next part. The next part, you got, excuse me.
Okay.
I have an egg white in here.
Okay, egg white.
And then some more of the cream.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna grab some salt.
So the process that you're using is called mousse. So in essence, can you do that with just anything and make it a mousse? Like things that you're using?
You could do it with anything. You could do it with beef. You could do it with chicken. You could do it with, you could literally, I've made mousse with literally anything.
Okay. So it's the technique.
Yeah, it's just a technique. So I've literally used chicken. I stuffed chicken with chicken mousse before, and it's delicious.
Oh, wow.
So
what would you say to critics who say, well, the chef uses French technique to make mousse, he's not really doing Haitian food?
Well, the thing is, to the same critics, if you go down to history, some of our techniques, the French learned some of the techniques from the Haitian slaves, because if you recall in the history, a lot of the slaves were the ones doing the cooking.
Okay.
But we never got the credit for it. You know what I mean? So, and the French really mastered the art of cooking and put it out to the world, but they were using the slave labor, slave techniques. We just never got the credit for it.
Okay.
But essentially, I'm essentially recycling Haitian techniques that the French took.
Yeah.
I'm just using it again.
Taking it back.
So, okay, so now that it's done, I'm gonna put it in a bowl. And again, I already have some over there. This is just to show you guys the process.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So,
it's really soft because lumbee is usually
it's really tough.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put this away.
Yes.
And then I have some ippies that I made. Just a regular Haitian ippies, but the way that I did it, I charred the vegetables to really give it, an extra to really give it, a punch
Oh, wow. So you charred them like on the
on the stove
stove?
top. Yeah, you
Okay.
don't have to have a grill. You could just literally just take your onions, your peppers, just sit them on the stove top.
Okay,
So-
you charred it. So that pulls out the flavors
That
more?
brings out more flavor. And another thing, when the vegetables are charred,
Okay,
when it mixed with the protein that are in meat, it just allow you to have different flavors.
I see. Okay,
So-
that's great. Okay. And I see that your épice is slightly a little bit more red
Mhm.
than the way we traditionally have the green épice. Do you have any special tips for people, or how do you get your
Oh,
épice to be
I
different?
use a lot of, and this is the mousse that's already made. I'm just gonna mix it with this.
Okay,
I use a lot of red peppers,
Okay.
some paprika.
okay,
So just really want it to be different.
okay. So that's what makes that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what makes it, red.
Okay,
So now we're going to put this to the side, and we're going to work on the next thing. This dish has a lot of components, but trust me, be patient. It's gonna all work out. So
and once it works out, they can show off like, all the techniques and this really
yes,
nice
yes. There's
complex dish.
yes.
Okay,
So this is a very important part. If you're paying attention, I just want to kind of wipe that down. Excuse me.
Okay.
This is a very important part, and if you're doing this at home, be very careful,
okay,
because I am gonna use something that you could purchase on Amazon or wherever.
okay.
This is called a mandolin,
Mandolin.
but if you do get one, it is very, 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 very sharp.
Okay,
If you're I would just go on YouTube and watch how to use it, because if you don't, you would just chop all your fingers. I've been cooking for years. I'm still cutting my fingers on it. So
okay. Not for the left-handers.
yeah, so
I'm left-handed, and some things are not really made for me. So,
so you just want to peel your plantain,
okay.
and then we have our snapper over there. I'm just gonna grab, if you could just grab our snapper,
Yes, absolutely.
please. Thank
And
you very much.
I just want to point out again to the way that you cut this plantain. I know I belong to a lot of groups, and I see a lot of people struggle with the way that how exactly you cut a plantain. So I just want the camera to kind of zoom in when you
We
do
can
the
do
next
it.
one,
We can do it again.
just
Let's do
so
it
folks
again.
can see how you kind of do the
So-
slice down the
So
size.
it's so God designed the plantain for you to know how to cut it. Right? So the first thing you do is you cut the top, but you don't want to cut too much, because if you cut too much, you're gonna lose plantain. It's expensive,
Especially around here.
especially now, because everything now is up by 56%. I don't know if you've seen the grocery prices lately.
Yeah. everything's
So-
up.
Like I said, God designed it for you to be able to cut it. You
Yeah.
see the edge right here.
The edges. Yes.
There's an edge right here.
Yes.
Don't do too much. I see people try to, like you say, peel it with a peeler. No, that's not how God designed it. Just like that. And then you just run your knife around those edges, but you don't want to do it too much. Like for me, if you're doing something else, you might, indent it hard. But for what I'm doing, I don't want to end it too hard. You'll see why in a second. So you just
Okay.
kind of follow the ridges, follow the edges, and I usually do another one on the side, and
Okay.
then that's it. That's all you do. It's
Easy peasy. Yeah. I've been cooking for a long time, and I used to struggle with it.
It can be
That's
hard.
why
It
I
can be
wanted
hard.
to
It
show
can be
folks
hard.
how to do that, especially the green ones.
Yeah.
It's
So
nice.
this is a mandolin,
Okay.
and it's kind of like a knife, but it's a Japanese type of knife, and it's very, very handy when you want to get those really different shapes and stuff like this.
Okay.
So all you're doing is, so I have it, the setting is right here, so you could
Oh, okay.
so it comes up or down. So
Okay.
I really want this to be thin, so I have the setting set up in a way so that it could be thin.
Okay.
So we're just gonna take this, then we're just going to,
Oh, wow. That is very thin.
yeah, so remember I told you guys, us Haitians have been doing some innovations for a long time.
Yeah.
So Haitians have been making, this machine was popularized in the 80s.
Okay.
Haitians have been making papitas since for a
Forever.
long time.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of the same technique. If I was making papita, that's what I would use.
Yeah, because they have to be
So-
that thin to get that crispiness when you
yep.
fry them. Okay.
So this plantain is a little sweeter than I expected, but we're gonna make it work
We're
anyway.
gonna make
So
it work. Okay. Is that me?
trust me, I'm good. I'm good. It's just there you go.
So when a dish has this many elements, how do you decide how to pair it? Like if you want to pair it with a wine, how do you decide what type of wine? Or does it matter?
So most of the time, just want to check on my plantain, which is gonna make my plantain butter.
Butter.
So again, like I said, you see how it's already kind of falling apart. So this is
Wow.
what we need,
And that is sweet plantain, heavy whipping cream,
and then just some salt.
and then a little salt. Okay.
Just some salt.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm gonna put this down because the plantain is about ready.
Okay.
So typically speaking, when you want to pair a dish, you want to kind of see who's the star of the dish.
Okay.
So in this case, it's the snapper. So you would probably do like you could do like a white wine, like a softer wine, because if
Okay.
you do red wine, it's a little bit too strong
Okay.
for the fish. So
Why is the snapper? Is that because that's like the center, or that's because it's the protein and you want to pair with the protein?
because the snapper is kind of like the thing that I'm highlighting in the dish.
Okay.
So once you take a bite of the dish, you would take a bite. You kind of typically take a bite of everything,
Okay.
and after that, you drink your wine. Then it will kind of make sense. Yeah, come
Okay.
together.
Okay.
So, and again, this takes quite some time to make. So it's you have to be kind of patient.
Okay. Just to get the. Okay.
I'm just going to. All right. So now that this is ready,
Okay.
I'm gonna put this to the side for now.
Okay.
And I have some potato starch, and the potato starch is really gonna help the plantain stay together instead of just falling
Fall
apart when
apart.
I put it in the pan. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna add some water, just a little bit of water.
So potato starch, is that something you buy or something you make? It's just,
No, you
is
can
it
just buy
called
it. You
potato starch?
can buy it. You can buy it.
Okay.
You can buy it. So in Haiti, if you don't have potato starch, one of the things that you can use amidon.
Amidon. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So it's like a bonding
It's a binder, yeah.
agent.
It's a binder.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a binder agent. Oh, okay.
So we have our snapper.
Okay.
So we're gonna do some salt. Trust me, I know the Haitians are saying there's no ippy.
I know, because I'm like,
Trust me. It's gonna come together. It's gonna come together. So you just wanna
You
kind
did
of
put emphasis in your mousse.
yeah. So you wanna just do just a little bit,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and then just wanna use your potato starch as your
Mhm.
binder. It should stick together, but this is kind of like an extra.
Soft
Yeah.
plantain. Okay.
So
So you definitely want to go green with this one.
like sometimes it's kind of tricky because sometimes because in Maryland especially
Mhm.
we don't make plantains. We're not known for plantains. They usually get the plantain from Mexico,
Okay.
and by the time they get here, even if they're green on the outside, the inside is ready.
Okay.
So
Oh, wow.
so you just want to kind of. And then what I usually do is I kind of
Cut that.
cut the excess off, and then.
So how precise? How many slices would you say that you use? Or
It all-
does it matter?
It all
Does
depends.
matter on the
It all
size of
depends
your-
on the size of the plantain. So I'm
Okay.
just gonna put this right here for now,
Okay. Okay.
and then let's clean up.
So you just need to make your layers to be enough to be able to wrap around.
You
them.
need so that's why if you see I'm using a snapper fillet, it's really small.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that it's small enough that you're able to maybe 4 to 5 slices of plantain
Okay.
should take care of it. So I'm just
Okay.
gonna-
Okay. That's good. All right.
all right. So
Seems like everything is.
all right. So now we're going to get our pan ready.
Okay. And does it matter the type of pan that you use for searing?
You want to use a non-stick pan
Okay.
because if you use any other kind of pan, it's going to just fall apart in the pan.
Okay.
So
we don't.
no, we good.
Okay.
We good. So you're gonna get your pan on.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna put it on medium heat to get the pan going.
Okay.
And then as that's going, we're gonna make our butter.
Oh,
just to get it out of the
I
way.
thought it was gonna. Okay. Okay. So, Chef, you talked about your grandmother, growing up with her and her being such a great source of your inspiration. What would you say, what else inspires you to cook and put such a focus on Haitian food? I know you know a lot of other techniques and you have cooked for a lot of people. I'm sure you don't only do Haitian food, but what is your special love affair with Haitian food and how does that connect to your inspiration?
I think for me, when I came to the States, I kind of had like a rude awakening.
Okay.
Because when I came here, coming from Haiti, I expected, because being Black in America is kind of different.
Okay.
Because being in Haiti is kind of like you're Black, you eat the same food. So coming here is kind of like when you're Black, you're expected to eat this specific kind of thing.
Okay.
So for me, and then learning about our history, I'm so passionate about our history and our food and everything. And I feel like we get so much bad rep when it comes to food. So it's always been my heart to really put it out there to the world to show people that, okay, this is how we do it. This is what we do.
Okay.
So it's called plantain butter for a reason.
Ooh, that's a lot of butter.
It's not all going in there.
Okay.
It's not all going in there. So you want to just.
I had a Paula Deen flashback. She was like 2 sticks of butter.
So we just want to get our blender going. So I'm just going to add a little bit more cream on there.
So we don't have this kind of special blender. Can we all make butter at home
Of
with
course,
the blender we have?
you can get if you have like
Vitamix.
a Vitamix that can work. Yeah.
Ninja.
Yeah, a Ninja will work. So going to kind of mix it.
Okay.
And then if you do use a blender, you want to make sure that you don't put too much stuff on there because these blenders they're very expensive and they'll break very easily. So you just want to. So now what you want to do is just want to add some butter. And it's just gonna emulsify. Emulsify means it's just bringing the fat and the protein together.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't know if you ever seen, if you had a sauce and all the fat is on the top and then you see the sauce on the bottom.
Yeah.
So if you want to get rid of that, you just emulsify it. Just put it in the, if you have a blender like this, when you make the sauce, just put it in there.
Okay.
It'll come together. So it's not quite ready yet. More butter.
More butter.
Yeah. Butter's your friend. It's not your body's friend, but it's your friend.
It's your friend.
So. And then tasting spoons. You want to make sure that I got to add more butter because it's not quite ready yet. Okay. Just maybe one more spoonful.
Okay.
You want to make sure that you always, it's going to get a little loud in here, but you want to make sure that you're always tasting when you're cooking.
Okay. when you're making the plantain butter, what are you looking for? When you say it needs butter, it's not quite ready, you want to taste it? Is that what flavor profile?
So I'm gonna let you taste it, and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
What does it remind? What does it taste like?
Dang, that's good. Bon syllabouille, but the bon syllabouille, but none.
So when I
guess you're not going for
no, it's fine. Because when I taste it, the first time I made it, reminded me of like a sweet condensed milk. Like it's so like dense.
Yeah,
it's not quite like it's like a labouille, but it's like really, really dense.
Yeah, definitely richer too.
Yeah,
Definitely richer.
Yeah. So.
Oh, but that's not boring. Sorry for the non-Creole speakers. The butter is good. That's what I'm saying.
All right. So now that we made our fish already,
all right,
we're going to start cooking our fish. The pan is just a little too hot. We're gonna let it cool off for a second. So again, I already made most of these beforehand.
Okay.
So that's what they look like.
Yes. And then your plantain was a little darker.
So initially when I did it, the plantain was a little bit more green.
Green. Okay.
So you wanna find a plantain that's really, really green.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with oil.
Okay. Does it matter which oil?
You want to use a low smoke point oil. Canola oil, peanut oil, sunflower oil, grapeseed oil. If you use olive oil, it has a high smoke point. It will burn too fast.
It'll burn too fast. Okay. So low smoke point.
Low smoke point. Okay. So, and then another very important thing that I have is the sauce. So this sauce right here, it was gonna take too long for me to make it here. It's very simple, but it's all about cooking. Is all about time. So, yes. So all you see the fish fillet, but all the bits and pieces and the bones, I just put it in a broth with some onions. I charred the onions. Okay. You're gonna get the flavor when you taste the sauce. Okay. With some wine. And it takes about 4 hours. Just let it reduce down. Oh, wow. And after it reduces down, you strain it. And this is what you get, what you come up with. But this is still not over. Okay. So you just want to put it in the pan right here. Okay. Does it matter what kind of wine? Does it have to be cooking wine? You can use regular wine as well. Okay. You can use regular wine. Okay. Definitely. Okay. So you just want to let it, come reduce down as much as possible. So I just got my fire up. So you're just gonna let it keep reducing. Okay. So once it reduced, when it's like almost to that point where it's barely anything left, I'm gonna add some butter. Okay. That technique is called mont au beurre. Mont au beurre. Okay. Yeah. So I can't wait to see what you do with it at the end. But yes. My brain is moving. So yeah. So I'm just gonna take this right here. Okay. Just add it to the pan. Woo. I'm gonna take as many as possible. Okay. I know everybody want to eat and want to see the final process. Yes. And then just want to add some. Butter's your friend. Butter's your friend. It's not your friend, it's your food's friend. Your food's friend. Okay. Yeah. I followed you. So you want to make sure that it's crispy on the outside, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna pan sear all of them. Okay. And then when it's about 3/4 of the way done, okay, we're gonna finish it off in the oven. Okay. It should take, when you put it all together, it should take about 10 to 15 minutes for it to be ready. To be ready. Okay. Yes. So you said pan sear. Can you talk to our viewers a little bit about the process of searing and what it does for the food and why do you do it? You want to sear because it makes your food really crispy on the outside, and it gives you some nice juices on the inside. Okay. I don't like my food to be kind of sloppy on the outside, so I want it to be as crispy as possible. Okay. Just like fried chicken, you don't want the skin to be soggy. You want it to be really crispy. Okay. So you want to kind of flip it. Oh, that looks good. And as you can see, it's starting to get some color already. Okay. And then we're just gonna cook it on this side for about 2 more minutes.
Very
Then we're gonna put it on the pan, and then it's going in the oven.
Okay, great. And while you're doing that, Chef, we have a question from our lovely viewers. Margie would like to know, can you substitute cod or another thick white fish for the snapper?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But my only concern with cod is just that it will break apart.
It's
But a
breaking.
technique that you could use for it not to break apart is if you get your cod. Again, like I said, cooking is all about time. It's a process.
Okay.
If you take your cod and you buy it, you cut it into just like you see the snapper,
Okay,
and then you put it into something flat,
okay,
and preferably something that is where there's hole, like a perforated pan,
okay.
and then you put some weights on top of it,
Okay.
and remove all the moisture,
Oh.
and it'll cook just like snapper.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can use any kind
That's
of fish,
interesting about cod.
but if you decide to use cod, you can do it in that same way.
Okay, okay, perfect. And we love your questions. So everybody watching and our lovely studio audience here, if you have a question, please let us know. And the chef will be gracious enough to teach you something. So just ask away.
Yeah. So
So before we stop talking, we're talking a little bit about your inspiration, your love for Haitian food. What would you say is your relationship with food?
I think we were talking earlier, and I was talking to one of the young ladies. I don't think. I think food is my life. I just love it. I just immerse myself in it just to really try to learn so much about it. I don't think I don't know. I don't think my life would turn out the way it is right now without food. So I have a strong love relationship with food.
Okay, that's good.
So you want to make sure, like I said, your fish is kind of crispy.
Yes.
And again, I know, like I said, if you want to use different fish, you can, but there's different techniques because if the fish is really flaky, there's a way you could get it to cook like snapper, but it just takes a longer time.
Okay. See, now that folks are talking about other fish, now I'm thinking too, can we probably do that with another type of ground provision, maybe like yam, pata?
The thing with potatoes, patat is just it doesn't have enough starch.
Okay.
So if you do it, it'll just fall apart. Maybe you could do it with something like
Oh.
yeah, lamb because
Lamb is breadfruit.
yeah, breadfruit.
So maybe something like breadfruit. Okay.
Because lamb vegetable cooks this pretty much the same way as plantains.
That's true.
So you can use that. And yams, I don't know if it'll work with this because once you fry it, it just falls apart. So
Oh, that's true.
yeah, so
yeah.
you can make it
Yam
work.
is
You can
thin.
make it work, but it would be very difficult. You would have to use molecular gastronomy, but it takes a really long time to do it. So
That's a big word. Somebody has asked how long the chef has been cooking, but he's talking about molecular gastronomy.
yeah.
So for a long time, but I'll let him answer that. How long have you been cooking, chef?
I have been cooking professionally since 2006.
Oh,
but
wow.
all my life I've been cooking.
All your life. Okay.
I've been around food all my life, and the reason I found out that was my calling, what I was supposed to do, is because one time I was working at that same restaurant. I left, I got another job,
Okay.
and I had the worst time, and that's when I realized, I was like, yeah, this is what I need to do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
That's exciting. So this is,
and I know some people probably wondering what molecular gastronomy is.
yes, we would like to know.
So molecular gastronomy is a cooking technique where you're using science to cook.
Okay.
So you use things that are more used for scientific purposes to cook.
Okay.
So you really taking the food and breaking it down to its molecular level
Okay.
to really cook it in different ways. So that's why I say the yam could work. You could use dehydrated yams and turn it into something else
Okay.
and make it work, but it's just gonna take a really long time.
That's true. Yeah. because I'm thinking about, fufu and that technique where ham becomes, it's such a different, you would have to know that that's how they made it to know that it's the same product that kind of becomes like that. So I can see that. Do we have any other?
This is what it looks like.
I do have to say though that I really like. Okay, a question for the chef.
Is there any reason why he loves to always prepare his dishes in a way that it's always kind of designed, exposure? It's always looking like he's like, as if he's making a
painting.
a painting.
Okay.
Is he a painter part-time or an artist part-time?
Because number one, when I was very young, I was the dessert. Really, the dessert appeal.
What is dessert?
Dessert is somebody that don't listen and just cause a lot of trouble.
Okay.
So my mom really was looking for ways to. The way my mom used to punish me, she would just make me go to my room and read. That was my punishment because I used to like to be outside and do all kinds of things. But she put me in an art class one day, and but I have a really strong love for arts, so that's probably where that comes from. But she put me in an art class, and I was in there for a little bit, but I hated it because I really didn't like to be confined. So I really wanted to kind of be free. So I left it, but I think that's kind of where that comes from.
I see. That's true. And if you didn't hear the question was, if you follow the chef online, he's Cuisine King with a K on Instagram. His food looks it looks too delicious to eat. It's very beautiful. It's very artsy. And for me, I eat with my eyes. So someone like me, I'm always like, oh my God, I want to eat. I don't know what this is, but I want to eat it. So someone wanted to know, what is his inspiration for making his food look so beautiful? It really looks like art. Is it because he's a part-time artist? And he's essentially saying that, he's a artistic country and the food is colorful and he's just, that's how he enjoys making the food. So we have another question.
Yes, sir.
From our lovely studio audience. Wants to know what other types of food can you eat with the bun and butter?
It's honestly up to the imagination. You could literally anything you could eat with plantains. You could probably eat with it. I've tried. What did I try with it? I try steak, chicken. Literally, it's up to the imagination. But I think it works really well with the fish because the fish is not as, it's not as heavy as a steak or, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I think it works well with probably fish. It probably works really well. But you could literally eat it with anything if you love plantains like I do. So.
Okay. I'm so excited about the different aspects of different type of very popular Haitian food that you are mixing in this one dish. I mean, I love banan, I love snapper, and I definitely love lambi. And we would have it all in a plate with all these different sauces, but I never kind of imagined eating it in one cohesive dish like that. So I'm very, very excited to taste it. I cannot wait.
So now this is done. I'm gonna put it in the oven for about 10 minutes, and I put some butter in it because I don't want it to burn.
Okay.
That's gonna help it not burn.
Okay.
So we're just gonna sit this in the oven.
All right.
For about 10 to like 12 minutes because you just want the inside of your fish to cook.
Okay. And I see that we have standard Haitian time temperature, 350. Is that what this should cook as?
You can cook it at 400. You can cook it at 400, but if you want it a little bit faster, you could cook it at 400. But I really want the inside of the fish to cook because if you put it too high, the plantain will burn and the fish will not cook. So 350 is good.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be funny. I didn't realize that there were other settings in the oven for a very long time because I would always give people recipes. They're like, Maria, mac and cheese is so good. How do I cook it? I'm like, oh, just put it in the oven. And they're like, well, what temperature? I'm like, Is there anything else other than 3? I mean, once you start following the recipe, I realized that, but I just thought, we good.
Haitian is just, they just turn it on.
You
And
turn it
that's
on and it's what it is. Why mess with it? It will cook. But
All right, so for our vegetables,
ooh, yeah.
I'm drawing an inspiration from because we eat a lot of pickles and stuff like that,
Okay.
but I'm not making it in a way that we're used to.
Okay.
I'm making it just in a way that is presented in a different way.
Okay.
If we had all day, we would have just pickled the carrots and I'm using Brussels sprouts because it's kind of the same family as a cabbage.
Cabbage. Okay.
So we would just pickle those things, and then just so you could get that same um, technique as a pickles. And
Okay.
if you guys don't know, pickles is a cooking technique has been used for thousands of years, a preservation technique.
Yes.
Haitians have been. That's why I told you, us Haitians, we are very ahead of the curve because we know a lot of things that for our survival we had to do. So.
Right.
We are very ahead of the curve when it comes to preservation, and those things are very scientific. So,
Yeah. Very cool.
so we're gonna, instead of making pickles is full of acidity, which
Okay.
is so the acidity produces something. It does something called lactofermentation.
Okay.
So that's why when you put the pickles into a container, you do it today, the next day it's just full of water. So what's going on is that the acidity in the vinegar or lemon is really eating all the protein and fibers in the cabbage and all the different vegetables,
Okay.
and it's removing the water. That's why the longer, it's just a preservation technique. Way back in the day, it used to be done with water.
Okay.
But-
Nice.
so we're gonna do it, instead of doing a typical pickles way, we're gonna do it with beurre blanc, but we're gonna do the base with vinegar. So
Okay.
it's gonna kind of give it that acidity of a pickles, but
Okay.
not as acidic.
Okay.
So, and then when you're making a beurre blanc, you want to make sure that your pan is my pan is a little too hot. I'm probably gonna add a little water to it,
Okay.
so it can cool down.
Okay.
You want to make sure that your butter is already cut,
Okay.
and this is kind of a way so that your vegetables maintain their color, so that
Okay.
so you're not eating Brussels sprouts that are brown. They're actually the color that they're supposed to be.
Green. Okay.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
say that.
yeah.
So you're saying beurre blanc, which translates to white butter, but what
Yes.
does that mean?
It literally is just literally a sauce. So typically the beurre blanc with
Okay.
a white butter sauce or beurre rouge, which is
Okay.
a red wine butter sauce.
Okay.
So, but this one, I'm just making this one a little bit different because of the pickles, the inspiration from the pickles.
Okay.
I'm just using the champagne vinegar.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's just a vinegar. It's gonna give it that acidic bite, and then you just want to kind of let your vegetables sit in there
Okay.
so they could maintain their color, because you don't want to serve the vegetables that are brown if it's supposed to be green.
Okay. That
So-
makes sense. Yeah.
So this is our sauce. Our sauce is reducing. I'm gonna put it to the side because I want it, when the fish is ready, I'm just gonna let it, because if I put the butter in there now, it's going to basically the sauce is gonna break.
Okay.
So the butter is gonna be all over the place. So you just want to kind of set it to the side, and then when the fish is almost ready, we're
Okay.
gonna put it in
Then you
there.
add that. Wow. Okay.
So this is to really take it up a notch. I should have really added the Scotch bonnet in there, but I didn't want it to be too spicy.
Okay.
So we want to take this kind of the same technique that we're doing the pickles. When pickles, some people make it vinegar, some people will make it with lemon.
Okay.
So I'm using champagne vinegar.
Does that mean it has champagne in it?
Yes, it's a
Okay.
vinegar that is lactofermentation, what I was talking about.
Okay.
So they literally take champagne and they just age it and remove the part that you drink.
Okay.
And they add a fruit to it to turn it into vinegar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Learning a lot today. Is everybody learning a lot today? Okay.
So this might be too hot. If it's too hot, your sauce is gonna break. So you don't want your sauce to break. So this is a little bit too hot. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to add some.
Water.
I'm just gonna add some water to cool the pan down.
Okay.
So now So right here, you wanna, and again, this is something that takes time. And all you need is like, for every pound of butter, you need 1 tablespoon of like, you could do it with wine, but I'm doing this with vinegar.
Okay.
You
So
need,
it's very
you need like one for every pound of butter of like, which,
okay.
you know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Oh,
what you're doing is you're just taking your butter.
lots of butter.
And again, this is just to maintain your vegetables warm.
Okay.
So I'm gonna take it off the heat. Because if you leave it on the heat, the sauce is gonna break, and you just want to keep whisking it.
Oh, okay.
And then when you whisk it, this is what's gonna give you the sauce that you're looking for.
The white.
It gives you like a white, rich sauce.
Okay. Again, that's so that the vegetables that you're cooking will retain their color.
Yes, yes. So before we did that, one of the things, another tip is to
Okay.
blanch your vegetables.
Okay.
So blanching your vegetables really help the vegetables maintain their color, and it's very, very simple.
Okay.
All you do is you get a pot of boiling water on,
Okay.
and add salt, and make sure that water is as salty as the ocean.
Okay.
It has to be really salty.
Oh, the water that you're boiling the vegetables in.
You're not boiling it, because if you boil it, it's gonna be
Okay, so
it's gonna be ligging. If you boil it.
ignore what I said. This is what the chef is saying about blanching. He's saying to boil our water,
Yes.
make it really salty, and then.
So the water has to be as salty as the ocean.
Okay.
So what the reason why you do this is to help maintain the color.
Okay.
And then when you drop your vegetables in there, the vegetables are gonna have start taking a little bit of flavor.
Okay.
And then you put it in your water when your water is boiling for about 2 minutes. Not longer, a minute to 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then, but before you do that, you make sure you have a bowl of ice cold water,
Yes.
ice and water. So you blanch it, you drop it in the water. It I don't want to say cook, but it blanches for about 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then you put it in the water, in the ice cold water. What that does is stops the cooking process, which is why they maintain their color. They're still
Okay. So these are
still
cooked,
green.
but they look really nice and green and
yeah,
crispy.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. Same
Okay.
thing for the carrots. You can do it with any vegetables.
Okay. Okay.
So just want to kind of keep whisking. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna season it. Just add a little bit of salt.
So you just, as soon as some butter melt, you just add more butter. How do you know when to add more butter?
Honestly, you just kind of you're supposed to. I'm not gonna add a pound of butter, obviously, but
Okay.
For every tablespoon of, if you're using wine, if you're using whatever, white wine, red wine, every tablespoon you use, you want to use a 1 pound of butter. So if I use 1 tablespoon, you could just do 1 pound of butter.
This butter sauce smells so good. I feel like I'm at Maestro's. That's the last time I smelled something like that kind of butter sauce.
So, and then you want to season it. And then you have to make sure you're tasting everything. So when you're cooking, you gotta be going through at least 100 spoons when you're tasting to make sure that.
And the Haitian way is when you taste it, you throw away the spoon. You don't.
Yeah, you put it in the back of your hand.
Yes.
And I was watching a documentary the other day. That technique comes from, back in the day where the slaves, they were cooking for the slave masters. They were not able to put the spoon in their mouth, so they would put the spoon in the back of their hands. So
Okay.
It's interesting
that's how I taste my food.
It's interesting to figure out what you do, why you do it.
Yeah. I mean, I taste my food like that, and I have people around me do that. And they're like, "You sure it's not going to burn me?" I'm like, "No, just quickly do it." Do we have another question?
I was going to ask a question.
Okay.
For sure.
So being a chef, and you have such a diversity of meal and recipes you get to eat, what is your favorite at home?
You took my question.
It's my favorite dish used to be paella. That was like, I would eat that day, night, every day. But I make it the Haitian way, with black rice, with conch meat, and all the things that we do in Haiti.
Yes.
But now that I'm starting to eat more like at different places. It's kind of hard. It's really hard because I eat anything. I'm not the only thing I don't eat is snakes.
Comment je vais mouler?
Yeah, I love my omelet.
Blé?
Yes.
Pitini?
Me. Yes. Keep going. Yes.
These are the things I don't like. That's what I was asking.
You gotta love those things.
So because you're a chef, does that mean every day is a different meal?
We should ask his wife.
She's still mad at me because when we first started dating, I made her this dish.
Mhm.
I promise you, I made her dishes that were 100 times better than this. She's like, I don't care. I need you to recreate this dish. I just made it on the fly, but I really can't recreate this dish. So she's still holding that over my head.
She's like, you're doing that on purpose.
So we're gonna add our Brussels sprouts to our butter sauce.
Ooh.
And then we're gonna take I'm gonna do the Brussels sprouts first.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do some of our carrots. So all you wanna do is kind of
so good. It's white.
you wanna let it kind of sit there,
Mm-hmm.
so that the vegetables can get warm. So
Okay.
because you don't want them to lose their color.
Okay.
So now I'm gonna turn my sauce back on because my fish is almost ready.
All right.
Then once it starts boiling, I'm going to add my butter to finish it off. Maybe some salt, taste it, and we should be good to go.
Okay. Chef, so we know you want to be on the road to your Michelin star. Walk us a little bit through like what you're up to, what you're doing, where can people find some of your projects, how can they support your projects, how do we get our Haitian Michelin star?
Michelin star is really, really hard. It's very complicated.
Mm-hmm.
It's very political. So right now, I told myself I'm kind of going back to school.
Okay.
I'm currently work at a Michelin star restaurant. It's really, really to open my eyes to what I want to do with Haitian food, just to see different things in different ways.
Okay.
And I plan on doing that for extended amount of time. And then hopefully in the near future, we're able to make that dream of opening a restaurant come true. But in the meantime, I do all types of, I used to do really large events, but I scaled back. I try to do intimate events and because I want to focus on quality versus, because once you start doing too many people, you lose the quality. So I want to focus on quality. So I do on smaller events from like 70 people down.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to connect with me, I'm on Instagram at Cuisine King, Kuisine King. And then on Facebook, Chef Sebastien, and my website is cuisinecaters.com.
Okay, awesome.
So yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say now that our sauce is kind of reaching its final point, we're going to add our butter.
Okay.
So we're just going to, and then I'm just gonna turn the fire off, bring it down.
Okay.
And then we really want this to be,
That's also so nice.
we want it to be really thick.
Okay.
So it's just gonna continue to reduce.
So to reduce and thicken, you don't necessarily add a thickening agent. You just reduce the fire and just let it do its thing, right?
You don't have to. I could bring the fire. You could bring the fire up.
Okay.
A lot of times when I specifically don't like to add the thickening agent because sometimes when the sauce gets cold, it gets really like gummy.
Hard. Okay.
So I kind of because there's a lot of collagen in the protein. So when you eat fish, when you break the bones, you see that little thing.
Yes.
So those things make your sauce really thick.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So if you let it cook, that's why I say if you don't throw away those bones, if you're making sauce, just put those bones
in there. Okay.
They're gonna make your sauce really thick.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right. So
So exciting.
we're going to take our vegetables. Take those Brussels sprouts
Okay.
out.
You need a pan.
No, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work.
Okay.
So I'm about to take the fish out.
Okay. I have something for you.
Okay.
Actually. While you're doing that, we have a question from our lovely AHP audience member.
So you said that the plantain butter
Mhm.
can use it on anything. How long can you keep it in the fridge?
I've made one. It lasted about like I would not eat it after like 4 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the plantain butter is good for about 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think we have a question from our young audience members. Oh, okay, not so young audience member.
Quite young, quite young.
Quite young, big brother.
For the Brussels sprouts, you said since it's green, it has to be sort of green.
Yes.
Like sometimes what I do, I like to season some Brussels sprouts and throw them in the oven, and then, but they don't come out good.
No, you could definitely do that because I could. A lot of times, Brussels sprouts they have this thing. They taste better when they're charred. So sometimes what you could do is if you blanch it. I was kind of doing this earlier when you were asking me.
Oh, yes.
I use a because if you put it in the oven, if it's too charred, it's gonna be bitter.
Yes.
And the Brussels sprouts get bitter really fast. So what I'll do is I have a torch. I'll show you guys the technique in a second. You just kind of once you blanch it, you shock it. All you do is you torch it, and it's gonna help maintain that. It's gonna give it that charness where it's not bitter, where you can eat it,
Oh.
and it's still soft enough that it's good. You know what I mean? Because if you put it in the oven for too long, it's just gonna be bitter. It's gonna be very hard to eat.
Okay. So for our inexperienced members, how do you suggest that they handle like a torch when they're trying to work on something?
Don't burn down your house.
Because I know we talked about the mandolin.
Yes.
And you just
So if you're looking at this, you see a lot of sauce. So one of the things that I could have done
okay.
is really taking, because I use some butter in there, taking that sauce
Okay.
because the lumby produces some moisture.
Ooh, okay.
So you could have taken some of that and added to the sauce, but I don't want to do that now because it's going to ruin my sauce. It's going to make it like, it's going to break the sauce.
Okay.
So, but if somebody wants, they could try it.
Okay.
So now I'm going to take my Brussels sprouts out and I'm going to put them on one of those. And the reason I'm doing this is because I don't want to serve it with all this sauce on there.
Okay.
I want some of the sauce to be absorbed.
Takuwa kule.
Mebaela.
Ah. Okay. So, chef, you have all these techniques. Your food is so amazing. Can we look forward to seeing you on maybe Top Chef or something like that?
God willing, yes. That
Okay.
that's a if when one of those doors open, that we're one step closer to the dream.
Okay.
So just waiting for the door to open.
Okay. Okay. That's good. And everyone knows, well, some folks know that I met you through one of my really good friends, Chef Alain Lemaire. And I know you guys have some projects together because I know you're one of the founders of Chef's Corner. Can you tell us a little bit about, because I know you talk about elevating Haitian food. Can you tell us a little bit about your work with fellow Haitian chefs and a little bit more about your work with Chef's Corner?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny because Chef Lemaire is one of my closest friends in the culinary world, and we met on social media, and we finally got a chance to meet in person last time he was here.
Yeah.
But since then, we've done a retreat, a chef's retreat, where a whole bunch of chefs came together, and his thing is really trying to equip people, and I'm very big on that as well. And what I've been able to do with Chef's Corner is really come together with chefs from all over the world, from UK, from China, all over the world come together, and we just build this network so that if anytime anybody needs a chef anywhere, they could probably reach out to me, and if I can't find it, I'll probably have somebody that can find it. So the goal is really eventually is to have a network where chefs are able to come if they need anything. We're able to support them.
Okay.
So not just for Haitian chefs first, but for every chef, because this chef journey is very, very difficult, especially if you're by yourself.
Okay. Okay. So I see you doing the same thing with the carrots. So these carrots were blanched as well?
The carrots were blanched.
Okay.
So now that this is almost ready, so what we're gonna do is my favorite part.
Ooh.
We're going
Eat?
to.
I'm joking.
That's the best part. My favorite part is plating because that's the last time you see the dish before somebody else eats it.
Yes.
So we're going to, and I'm going to buzz the plantain butter one more time because it's been in here, and I left it here because it's gonna stay hot.
Okay.
Okay, so and I'm going to take some of those carrots. Oh, and then there's one thing I need to show you before we start plating.
Uh-oh.
So there are different ways you could serve those Brussels sprouts.
Okay. Would you what did we say? Torch them. Would you do that?
No, I would not do that now, but I'm gonna show you because you really want that butter sauce. That butter sauce is gonna act as a palate cleanser. Every time you eat it,
Okay.
your mouth is like, so every time you eat something in one of the items,
No, yes.
that's your mouth's way of telling you, like, this is good.
Give me
Like,
some.
it's a palate cleanser. It's cleansing itself for more.
Okay.
So this is what this butter sauce that's cooling the vegetable is gonna do.
Okay.
So we're going to, I just want to show you this. So we're going to take some of those Brussels sprouts and use that pan.
Okay.
So just take a couple pieces. And I got some
Are they
onions as well.
shallot? Oh, okay. These are
Some pearl onions.
okay. Pearl onions are small.
Yeah, very small. So
I hadn't seen them in that color. I thought that was shallots.
they come in white or that color.
Okay. Okay.
So, and again, I want this dish, and I'm gonna use the onions to be my char, since I already use a butter sauce on everything.
Okay.
So that's gonna give the.
Kids, be safe when you try this at home.
Don't try this at home. So, it's just gonna give it that char.
It's just making it.
And then if you want, after you char it, you can put some butter sauce on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you do this for flavor or just color, like to have that color?
It adds flavor to the dish. It's adding flavors on top of flavors.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. And you don't want to have oil. I see you wipe the oil from
No
that.
oil.
Okay. Okay.
Essentially, what you could do, if you have one of those flat tops, you could just literally put the vegetables on the flat top, and then that does the work.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm gonna use this as my char. So
That looks nice.
And then we're going to grab a spoon. Oh, sorry. For our plantain butter.
Okay.
So
Plating. So when you're plating, I'll let you do.
No, go ahead.
No, I'll let you explain because I know that there's an art to how you do it.
So initially, if we were doing this, so typically when you do have those type of restaurants, you have a lot of staff because it takes a lot of people to do the small little things. So initially, this will be pre-made, and it will be in one of those containers.
Oh,
those plastic
okay. It's already
containers.
there. Okay.
And then we'll just kind of warm it up.
Okay.
And then when it's time to serve it, all you do is you take your spoon.
Okay.
You just make a little.
Ooh, that looks so good.
And then this is a offset spatula. This is used a lot in baking, but we use it as well.
Okay.
So just take one of these and just kind of.
That's how you do that.
So now I'm going to take.
Offset spatula, that's called.
Yes, offset
Okay.
spatula. So I'm gonna take this right here.
That's beautiful.
Then we're going to do some vegetables. And you want them to kind of stand up.
Your vegetables.
Yes, you want them to look sexy. You know, somebody's gonna pay a lot of money to eat this.
Yes.
And food is expensive right now, so you want to make sure that it looks really good.
Okay.
And then you want to, when you do it, you kind of want to follow the rule of threes.
Okay.
Because it's kind of weird. Scientifically, it's proven that our eyes just like to see things in threes.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay.
So
3 of each.
3 of each.
Okay.
And then I want to take some of my tart onions.
Oh.
And then initially what you could do is you could use this as a vessel for a sauce. If my sauce was thick enough,
Okay.
I'll put the sauce into a squeeze bottle
Okay.
and just squeeze my sauce into this onion
Okay.
as a.
All right. So 3.
And then you see how the sauce is.
That is very thick now. Yeah.
And then.
So your butter goes on the bottom. Okay. So is there a position for the star? I know that the meat is in the middle.
It all depends because it depends on the way you plate the dish.
Okay.
Because so this would be kind of considered like a Nordic technique because they use symmetrical, everything is kind of square.
Okay.
Or everything is a certain shape and it's kind of in the center of the plate.
Okay.
Or it all depends on where where you position your plate.
Okay.
And then finish it off. This is a garnish.
That's pretty. So, Chef Lasolatis. Oh yeah. Are those beautiful flowers edible?
Yes, they are edible.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh, you just ate a flower. It should. That plate is gorgeous.
And again, you kind of also want to play into like the seasons. It's summer, it's kind of bright, so
You do
and
something right.
then you want to use those vegetables to remind you of summer.
Okay. That's very pretty.
And that's it.
Voila. I know that it's going to taste as marvelous as it looks. And we know that kids are the toughest judges. And I have a special guest here all the way from Colorado, my niece Ella. And she had asked if she could be the first person to taste. So Ella, do you want to come up and do the tasting with Auntie? Come on. Liana can come too. Oh yeah, we have 2.
So we might need some stuff for them to serve themselves.
Oh, okay. Well,
Some
can
more.
they try it this way?
No,
Or do
just
another
give
plate?
them something to
Oh, yes,
like
yes,
a
yes,
fork
yes.
or knife.
Yes, of course. Can we have a nice picture of the plate before I mess it up, please?
It's all right. I'll make another one for a picture.
Oh, okay.
Just make it try it.
Okay. Are you ready, judges?
Yes.
What's your name, judge number 1?
Ella.
Okay. And what's your name, judge number 2? Okay. And Can I cut it like this? So we're gonna try it with all of the different elements. So I'm gonna make sure that you get
That's the best way to try it. Try
Right.
everything at once.
everything at once. You said it's pretty? Okay, try it. You sure? Is it too hot?
That's good.
It passed the kid test, so I know it's amazing. I can't wait. All right, judge number 2, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. She's like, yes.
Yes.
She's like, yes.
Very decisive.
Ooh, that fish looks so nice and flaky and moist. Okay, judge number 2. I'm just gonna make sure I catch all the elements for you. What say you? 2 thumbs up. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you, Chef.
You're very
And-
welcome.
Great job.
You feel like you're gonna faint because it's so good? Oh my God. Okay, let's see the vegetables. I know you kids are not.
I like the Brussels sprouts.
You gonna try Brussels sprouts? You'll try a carrot, okay? And some flowers, okay. How is that? That's really good. Okay, we're gonna try a carrot.
Of course, carrots taste good.
Well, you know, what do you think? What do you think?
Brussels sauce.
Yeah, what do you think about the dish overall? How did Chef do?
He did great. Amazing. It's moist and has a lot of texture.
Okay.
An excellent.
What about you? It's good consistency. And I just tasted it and it's delicious.
And everybody's gonna get a chance to taste it.
Everybody's gonna get a chance to taste it. And on behalf of HP and Magolakai, Chef Sebastien, we want to thank you so much for taking the time out to come here, even through the technical difficulties. You were so gracious and you did such an amazing job. And I'm really excited that we had a chance to have you here with us today. And can you tell us again how we can find you online, how we can find you on social media, and what can folks look forward to from you in the next, months, year, and et cetera?
Yes, Sebastien Salomon, Chef Sebastien. You can find me on Facebook, Chef Sebastien, on Instagram at Cuisine King. That's Kuisine, King. And my website is cuisinecaters.com. And for the next few years, I'm just gonna be putting out some amazing Haitian dishes that you never expect that you will see come together. And hopefully, not hopefully, in the future, we're gonna win that Michelin star for Haiti. So
Everybody join me in a big round of applause for Chef Sebastien. Thank you so very much. We really appreciate having you. And again, our audience members, thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for your patience. And I hope you learned something really, really great today. And we're looking forward to bringing you so many more Haitian chefs. Hopefully we'll have our next woman Haitian chef. And someone is telling me that you have a pop-up sometimes. Do you have a chance to tell us a little bit about
yeah,
that?
sometimes I do pop up, but I really, really, really wanna take some time out to really create an experience, or where I create an environment where people come and eat 5-6 courses and go home. So I'm really working on that. Look forward to that. I don't have a timetable yet. I'm really working on like the timing, the place, the dishes. So look forward to that as far as pop-up. And that's the reason why I haven't been doing a lot of other pop-ups as well. So
Okay. Well, the most important question about all of that, will there be grill in the place that?
trust
gonna
me,
look
there's gonna be grill in a way that you don't expect to see grill.
Okay. I mean, we're sold. We're
Yeah,
ready.
so-
All right. And once again, thank you so much, everyone. We're looking forward to seeing you at our next event. Continue to support Mangolakai, continue to support AHP, continue to follow us. And
Picnic coming up.
we have the picnic coming up on July 11th. And, we all know that's like a huge community activity, and it's going to be lots of fun. Please open the email. Please visit our page. Please sign up. Please come out. Last year we couldn't do it because of the pandemic, and now we're ready to to get things going in motion again. And once again, thank you so much, all of you, for all of our support. And again, a great big thank you to our technical team, our audiovisual team, Amen Production. You can also find them on Facebook and on Instagram. And I want to thank Gilles from our board and Fabiola from our, who's an executive member with AHP, our president Glaciers, who is with us, was with us on the internet, and all of our members, board members, and executive members, and my amazing family for coming out here to support this this occasion, and my friends that are here also. Thank you again, and have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's eat.